Here's a little supplemental material about an astronomer named Nicholas Copernicus. Stop and watch the biography on the other video before you watch this one, just so you have the background information on him. But Nicholas Copernicus was famous for developing the heliocentric model of the universe, that the sun was the center of the universe and everything revolved around it. Prior to that, the geocentric model was that the sun revolved around the earth. So we've come to learn that that's absolutely false, but at the time it was a pretty big deal. So I want to talk about the revolutionary ideas and the controversy that was started by the discoveries of Nicholas Copernicus. The first reason that Nicholas Copernicus's ideas about the sun, or the earth moving around the sun, or the heliocentric model, is that it challenged our perceptions. If you were to stand on the earth and observe the skies, it seems very clear that the sun is moving across our sky. I mean, from my very own perception, I've stood in the same spot the entire time, and the only thing that's changed is the sun in the position of the sky. Natural conclusion, just by perceiving it with my eyes, is that the sun's moving and not the earth. So he was really developing he was challenging people's perceptions in a way that said, don't trust your eyes, but he was introducing math and science as a higher authority than even your own eyes, saying, trust these principles of science, don't trust your own eyes. And he was able to mathematically, empirically prove to the world that indeed Earth was revolving around the sun. What a shocker! But we can't underestimate why people would have given such resistance to this, because they were seeing the sun move, and he was denying that the sun was moving and saying, no, you're moving instead. So it took some time for people to embrace that new authority to say, don't trust your eyes, trust these mathematical principles. So the second big controversy that Nicholas Copernicus started was that he challenged the authority of the church. The Roman Catholic Church of the day, not to be confused with Jesus' church, but the Roman Catholic Church of the day was a powerhouse that had authority. It had the church, papal, almost king, monarchical kind of authority. And so just as people trusted in their own perception to be an authority, others trusted in religious authority to tell them the nature of the universe. Now, if we know about the Roman Catholic Church, they got a lot wrong. They based their geocentric model of the universe on a verse in Joshua that said, God made the sun stand still. And so they had deduced from that whole verse that therefore it must be a geocentric universe and the sun revolves around the earth. But as we know about the Roman Catholic Church and the Bible, they got it very wrong. They didn't all of a sudden start caring about the Bible, and it wasn't about them defending the authority of the Bible. It was really about questioning their authority. And people in positions of authority don't usually like that. Just when we have our perception challenged, we don't like that. We like to believe that our eyes tell us everything. And just like when people are in positions of power, they don't like to be challenged. They want you to just believe what they say and follow them. But Nicholas Copernicus, with his science, disproved their authority. He was able to demonstrate that what they were declaring was wrong. Now I want to be really clear that that doesn't make Jesus versus science. What it does make is church authority or established religious authority versus science. And those are two very different things. Lastly, I want to make a quick comparison between Nicholas Copernicus and Jesus, because I see a sort of irony here in that what many scientists love and respect and admire about Nicholas Copernicus, in that he challenged perceptions and that he challenged authority, they hate Jesus for the very same reason. And so there is this tension in modern science to try to push Jesus and push God out of the equation. The irony is that the scientists typically love that Nicholas challenged perception, that he challenged church authority. Jesus, in the same way, challenged perception and church authority. If you remember, he came teaching the religious leaders of his day that they were wrong, that they had missed God, that they had gone astray. They hated him for it, and they killed him for it. In the same way, Jesus also taught his disciples that he came from heaven, and that their perception was not complete, that he had been to heaven. He understood the things that no man can see, the judgment to come, the spiritual realm, the angels, the demons, the heavens themselves. And he was challenging people to say, don't walk by sight, walk by faith. The famous walk by faith and not by sight. And so, in what was so glorious in Nicholas Copernicus's ability to align people with the truth, infinitely more so, the man who came from heaven, who was able to challenge our own eyes and our own sight and our own perceptions, and to help us to look beyond our life to the resurrection, to the world to come, to the kingdom to come, and to challenge the authorities of men, and Jesus to claim his right and his place as the true King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So I find it interesting that there is a bit of a similarity between the work that they did, obviously in very different degrees, but I also find it interesting that there's an irony in what the scientists respect in Nicholas Copernicus, they reject in Jesus Christ. So I guess at the end of the day, we do have to make a decision whether God informs science or whether science is God. So there's the challenge for today, just a little something extra to think about. See you in class.